My wife and I founded our company Wirbelwild a few years ago with the aim of completely rethinking communication, to develop holistic communication solutions, and also to completely digitize printed matter. Today, I will show what it is all about, what software we have developed, and how communication has to be in the future. For many years, printed matter was the only mass communication channel, but for several years and decades, we have known that there are other channels as well: TV, radio, and a little newer, the internet. If you want to communicate successfully, you have to ensure that the information reaches the recipient. In order to address different senses, all communication channels must be used whenever possible. As a result, fewer resources are available for each individual channel. And something else has changed in communication. While it is used to be important to make all information available to everyone, today we live in a time of information overload. Since not all information is relevant to everyone, it needs to be filtered. The filtering in connection with the ever shorter time between the creation of information and the transmission to the recipient means that it no longer works today to let people work on the communication channels. Example, someone writes an article for a newspaper. This article is intended to be in print, but it should be also available online. And it would be perfect if you could listen to it too. How much time is there left for individual design? In future, information must therefore be automatically converted into the appropriate form of communication. So we notice that there's almost no time left for design. And now the question is, how can we get a good design quickly and automatically? There are already templating systems, editorial systems, and content management systems in which a design has been defined once and that give an author simple options to manage that when writing a text. This largely eliminates the need for a subsequent graphic design. But what if many different publications are to be produced for different target groups or target persons? What if it is not clear at all what the information looks like, whether it contains a lot or little text, few or lot of pictures? What is design? Design is always based on design rules. These are the basic laws of contrasts, symmetries, and so on, but these can also be corporate designs of companies. Such rules can be formulated and programmed so that software can create layouts that look exactly as if they were made by a person. And this is exactly the kind of software we created. By working in this way, our software can then design without a template that is not on the basics of placeholders and is independent of the type and the number of incoming data. It doesn't matter whether a long or a short text is to be placed, or whether 1, 2, or 3 images are to be placed on one page. The software knows how to deal with it. This makes it possible to generate layouts to 100% automatically. But it is also possible to support people in their work. More and more often, lay people must be able to come up with a good design. This happens in every editorial or content management system, be it for a daily newspaper or for the website of a sports club. Intelligent design systems that can understand content are required here. This means that when a word or phrase is entered, its meaning is recognized, and for example, suitable colors or images can be suggested. And content checks are also possible. For this purpose, you have to know how information relates to one another. We have already invested a lot of time in linking information, words with other words, words with pictures, and words with colors. Tens of thousands of words and millions of images were processed for this purpose. Here we see parts of an intelligent layout system that we created earlier this year. It is intended for lay people to design labels. Each time a word is entered, suitable colors and color combinations are suggested. The system also shows matching fonts and matching pictures. In this case, the images come from Unsplash, so there's no own image database required. To us, it feels like digital is merging into print. That is true and opens up many more possibilities for us. There is almost endless information available on the internet. This can be used for printed matter by addressing APIs. We can do this at the moment when a layout is generated. This means that every single layout contains exactly the data that was available at the time it was created. The information in printed matter is virtually live, and the delay only arises from the duration of printing, print finishing, and delivery. This also means that a third-party content that is not your own can be used. For example, use of a third-party image material in order to keep the effort for product photography low. Use of route information and maps. Use of information about attractions, weather information, calendar information, location information, geographic information. You can also use it to process content, for example, automatic cropping of images, or automatic editing of images, like clipping the sky, skin corrections, color corrections, classifying images and image recognition. Text can be generated using image recognition. This is already used on Facebook, for example, to generate image descriptions. Here we see a picture of my wife and me at an award ceremony. Facebook says the image could contain two people, people who laugh, people who stand. It is also interesting that Facebook knows very well that the image recognition may fail and therefore deliberately says the image could contain. It is also possible to create groups of people and to translate text automatically. It is also possible to create text. Here we see 3 versions of a soccer match report. The input information here is the club's names, the venue, and the game result. Those sentences have been generated automatically. With our software, many digital topics are now possible for printed matter. For example, product recommendations. This is known from web shops when further products are recommended based on purchases made. Native advertising. Automatically integrate advertising content into a printed matter and adapt its design. One-to-one marketing. This means that a completely individual printing product is created for a single person. We are able to generate tens of thousands of such layouts every day without having to intervene manually. A/B tests. Generate and measure different layouts and how these are accepted by the target group. This allows to increase the conversion rate over time. Conversion tracking. Monitor how printed matter is accepted and how recipients react to it. Are QR codes scanned? Are phone numbers being called? Only those who know the impact of their printed matter can evaluate their efficiency. Combined with another, these possibilities result in incredible printing products. This is a card from a personalized mailing from a fashion house. Several things happen here. The weather for the coming weeks is analyzed for each customer, and product recommendations are generated in connection with previous purchases. The image is requested from an external API. The background is removed by another API. A light background color is generated from the colors of the image. The text refers to it. A voucher code is generated and the item is automatically placed in the shopping cart when the link is called up, so that the customer only has to go to the checkout. Wherever there is talk of layouts and printed matter, in the end it is also about page assembly and imposition. For us, it was important to create software for this area too, which thinks along and supports people in this often complex task. For example, to check where there are still free areas on a page that can be filled, and then to suggest a suitable content, or to check whether all binding content has already been placed. Imposition can also be about processing different printed matter depending on the number of copies, the paper, scheduling and availability of the printing machine. Intelligent systems already manage to plan printed matter here in such a way that every sheet is optimally used, that every machine is optimally utilized, and every order is produced in such a way that it can be delivered on time. Corresponding systems even learn about the utilization of the printing machines and try to compensate for seasonal fluctuations in utilization. In order to be able to use all these functions and possibilities, systems are needed in which data is available in a structured manner and which can be connected to all communication channels. Information is then manifested and communicated at the push of a button, or even without it. And of course, this must not only be thought of and used for printing products. In this way, all communication channels must be able to be used in the future. Communication then takes place in two steps. At first, manifestation of the information. Information is converted into text, is converted into an image, is converted into a video, into audio, or even into a smell or a taste. And second, conveying the information. Information is transferred to a printing layout and printed. Information is converted into a digital layout and published on a website or in an email. Information is converted into a film and published online or in TV. Information is converted into audio and published also online or in the radio. This is important because consistent communication not only requires individualized text information, but also individualized images, individualized videos, and individualized audio. We are very proud to have created 100% automation for layouts and print publications. And we are already working on solutions for 100% automation of images, videos, and audio. There are already incredible opportunities for this communication that were unthinkable until recently. Let's bring printed matter to life together and take communication as a whole to a new level. Thank you for listening. And now back to you, Ingi.
Thank you, Tobias, for a very good presentation, and also thank you, Nina, and thank you, Kathleen. We will start some questionings now. I will start with one question to Kathleen and Nina. After COVID came into action, I heard from some company owners that they need smaller housing. Now they can rethink their business model in some ways, that they need smaller housing because they will not have always the 100% workforce in place. Is that maybe the case you hear as well?
Correct as well. Many companies think about this situation we are now in, but we always say it's a current situation that we have to wait until the pandemic is over to have a true build about this.
Okay.
But the trend is correct.
Okay. And COVID has changed in office. The changes in offices is that they are more segmented, or what? So you have maybe smaller spaces, or what's the big changes after COVID?
The big changes for now is that there are not so many employees in the offices, so they can have the distances between. That's the most important thing. When you think of an open space office, you have mostly a block of 4 or 6 desks to each other, and these blocks cannot be occupied by all employees. You have to share them. You have to put them apart, yes.
Okay.
So that you can deliver the distance of 1.50 meters between the workspaces.
Exactly. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I encourage everybody to post some questions. We have our question, it's open, the question panel, so please post your questions if you have any, and then we will try to get to them during the session. Tobias, over to you. People have been asking about, is your software a plugin for other kinds of software, for InDesign or such software, or is it a standalone product?
It depends on the usage. It can be both. You can integrate the software, for example, in a workflow with InDesign, but you don't have to. Our software can be also have its own front end, its own surface. So it depends on the usage.
Are you working with any newspapers at the moment with your software?
Yes, but a really small one, to be honest.
Okay. So you can see it's applicable in our branch then, or our business, or what?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a plugin then into an editorial system, or then your software is a plugin into an editorial system that has been used, or what?
Currently, we are working on a new solution that has been created especially for this customer.
Okay, great, good. We have a question from Rainer Kirche here. Did you adapt your design? This is probably to Nina and Claudine. Your design due to COVID impact to the future way of working in a more shared way from home and from office. Time of decision to build new site, there was no COVID impact. I think his question is, I mean, are plans being revised now after COVID? I mean, are companies making their buildings smaller rather than bigger because of things that have happened due to COVID?
Of course, this could be an effect, but as we try to explain, we think that it is more a change of the way the offices will be designed, because now people get used to home office and mobile working. I think it's sure this part will increase in the daily work, but we think that it is still very important to offer an office where people can do the work that requires exchange with others, meetings, creative work, collaboration, all these. So,
yeah, okay.
Do not think that the buildings are getting smaller in the future. They should remain the same size, but we cannot see in a glass bowl, so it's only a discussion at the moment.
Okay, of course. I see our attendees are very interested in hearing if you're working with some other newspapers. So maybe that's a secret that you're doing it, but they're very interested in hearing if okay. Yeah, your secret is safe with us, for sure.
Yeah, we do. We have to.
Okay, Tobias, here's more technical questions. Will it be possible in the future to integrate few workflows like page design, CMS, AD, booking, MIS in one platform?
Yes, I think so. Yes. Our goal should be to make the things simpler, more simple and not almost more complicated.
Okay. Another one, is it possible to implement ICC profiles and Ptfx? Is that also?
Yes.
Also the case? Okay, good. This is taking very short time here. Another thing is it including GCR and different screenings? It's a very technical question. Do you know what I'm talking about here, Tobias?
No, I'm not sure if I understand that question.
It is a color correction module because I mean, obviously printers are very focused on color correction and for instance, the International Color Quality Club. That's ICC.
Yeah, no, we don't have an own solution for that at the moment. But maybe there will be one in the future.
Okay. Yeah.
So we are still on the way. The things are evolving.
Yeah, future is a blank page. How do you see, maybe Nina and Kathryn, maybe I can ask you also about the office spaces. I mean, now it has been a trend, for instance, to have like an open space. Have you been researching that, or have you been studying research about the effects of open space for employees in a workspace? I mean, is it making people more effective, or how has that been? What is the trend in that respect?
So the open space offices were coming up in the last years, mostly to optimize the communication. It's not only a point of space, it's a point of communication and flexibility, if this is your question. This is the main issue when we talk to our customers about what future office concept is the right one for me or for my employees. We mostly have the answer, we want that the teams interact with each other. And this is only possible when you are creating a landscape office with different functions, as we have shown it in the presentation also.
Right.
This is helpful to fulfill all requirements of the customer in terms of different situations on a working day.
So, for instance, if you have like a team working together, that's better to have them in an open space instead of yeah, I understand.
Correct. They can change over the day. They can use the spaces in the office for whatever they do. So they change over the day from a position to position, and they look for their perfect surrounding in the office landscape. These are the concepts that work now.
Okay, how do you mean changed in the office? Do they move around in the office, or what?
Yeah, they move around in the office. They have space for concentration on a working desk, but they have also meeting areas, lounge areas, think tank areas where they can do special work. So they have maybe single work just for their own. They read a contract, they write on the computer, but they also have requirements such as meeting with the colleague, having a video conference, and for all the needs, we prepare different positions in the office building so that they can use different places.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So you have like one space where you can concentrate and go to a meeting in a nice couch in another corner, or sit by the window when you want to get some ideas or whatever.
Correct. So the office is not anymore just a place where work desks are standing.
Okay. Yeah.
So as you have it in your mind, maybe from 10 or 20 years ago, you come to an office and there's a working desk and a chair and a computer on it, and 3 or 4 meeting rooms, an entrance area, a copy room, and that's all. And so this has changed in the last years, and a lot. And this is going to change now because of COVID, very, very high. So this is what we see every day in the market, and we are very sure that will this will be like a rocket in the next 2 or 3 years, because due to COVID-19 and this experience in this year, we will have a big change in the office planning.
Yeah, of course. And is this the concept you're using in FZ? Are you using this concept with the different
parts of the concepts? Because we started with the planning, I think, Nina, 3 years ago.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
3 years ago, we started with the first plannings for the office spaces, and now we are at a point where nothing can be changed anymore concerning the ground floor plans or the floor plans, because they have to build it now. But we have integrated a lot of these special areas, like we mentioned, lounge areas, meeting points, think tanks, so that they have a flexible space with cellular offices and open plan offices in the mix.
Okay, and this is this is a trend. And are people then renovating offices, changing old offices into this concept then?
Yes, also you don't need sometimes a move to create a new office design. You can do it in your own office space that you are currently in. This is also what happens, yeah. Okay,
that's very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to our questions here, but okay. Here's a question from Kumar. New technology with existing printing application software or totally new product with AI? Tobias, are you building on something that was existing, or is it totally from ground up a new development?
Our development is totally new.
From ground up?
Yeah, yes. It's to 100% made in Germany and developed by our own.
Okay. If I can ask you maybe a little bit about your background, because being are you a graphic designer by trade, or what's your so you learned graphic design and then added the computer knowledge on top of that, or what?
Yes, exactly. That's the way. I was in a printing company for about 10 years, and that's why I have a very good feeling and knowledge about all the processes going there. From the beginning, from an empty digital sheet until the end, to the finishing and the product in your hands.
Okay, great. I think we are about to be able to close it up. Do you want to say something in the end? I mean, do you want to give us some final words and some thoughts maybe after this? Something that we could take away after this session? If you start, Nina and Kathleen.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for sharing this presentation with us. It was a new kind of meeting for us today as well, also with you as the printing and media business. And yeah, if any questions come up, feel free to contact us.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Stay healthy.
Thank you. Tobias?
It's the same. If there are some questions, just get in contact. We are happy to hear about you and to talk about you.
Okay. I thank you, all three of you, and stay safe in your ventures, because I mean these are strange times, and yes. Thank you all for being with us, and hope we can see one another soon. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye.